Welcome to Blueprint of a Craft. I'm ideator and host Alissa Johnston. This is a space to center on the personal human connection as the main starting ingredient. We invite others to share what they feel their current craft in life is outside of their job title. Here, we identify craft as the value or impact you're trying to provide in life. In a playful, in-depth discussion, we pick apart the early sparks, the current framework, with all its messy parts and change pivots, and the future vision of this craft, ultimately creating a personal, usable blueprint. If you are a visionary, entrepreneur, leader of teams, community builder, or simply someone who wants to lead their life, this show is for you. Let's get to the day's blueprint. Hello, welcome to Blueprint of a Craft. I'm Alissa Johnston, leadership coach and learning and development strategist of over a decade, plus a personal comedian in my random moments. Today, let me meet Devi. She's a newer colleague I met this year at a women's leadership gathering and a fireball of amazing energy. I've identified her personal superpower. She lights up any space she steps into. While she's at the start of her craft journey, we'll learn that the extremes of experiences can equip someone with relevant wisdom at any life stage. We just have to have that curiosity and that willingness to have them share it and test it. Founder of the group Vision and Voice, Devi seeks to use personal experiences to create that safe space for others, giving voice to their vision and peer support to pursue them. We'll cover the philosophical and vulnerable side to the change process, along with personal mindset tips of how to set these challenges into that frame where they will be useful. Let's get to the chat with Devi. Hello, Devi.
Hi.
Welcome to Blueprint of a Craft. You are the very first guest that we are filming. You and I met recently, probably last couple months here at a women's leadership group. I felt like we connected right away.
Immediately.
We were like in it. And when I heard your story, I was like, we need people to get to know Devi a little bit more because you are fully launched and focused on your future path. I really want to get the conversation going so they get to know Devi at a deeper level. Let's break the ice and get to know Devi. Devi, why are you likable?
I am likable for so many reasons, but the number one reason would say I like myself. You're easily likable when you like yourself. Self-love is the best form of love, and I feel like everything else is in addition to that. Me and you hit it off because I put myself in an environment and in a place where to feel the love, to feel the likeness, to feel the community, that's just the reward of me being me. And so I'm likable because I like myself. I'm likable because I'm fun, I'm caring, and I'm very, very sympathetic to other people's life, their life paths, their journey, wherever they are on that journey. And I think that's what makes me likable.
So here's the flip side of the question. How are you unlikable?
Ooh, it's crazy because I was just thinking about this as I was coming here. My age may be one of the reasons why I'm unlikable. Being 22 years old, it's like a lot of people may think, what makes you qualified? And that can cause some people to have jealousy and envy and even why are you here energy. Some people don't realize that I notice, but I feel like that's one of the main things that makes me unlikable is just my aura and my age and the wisdom that I carry. And
you do have that wisdom, that deep wisdom. When I've talked to you, there's some of those philosophical gems that you'll pull out in the conversation. And it goes back to this idea that age doesn't mean a whole lot sometimes. When you talk about someone's natural abilities or the skill sets or the ways that they think that can really add value to what's happening in the situation, you're missing out on a lot if you automatically say, you know what, this person's not credible or can't bring something because of that age.
Right. I live in a world where like accolades mean a lot. You have a PhD, you have to have a master's in this and that, which 100% that makes you qualified. But when we just cancel out people based on their age, even what they're wearing, are we really accepting of the wisdom and the knowledge that everyone can bring?
So what's your wisdom piece right now in this moment? What would you bring out?
To be authentically you. And starting with yourself, showing up in every room, knowing that you belong in the room just simply because you're there. The opportunities don't find you for no reason. As long as you walk it and you talk it, like nothing else matters.
Yeah. Walk it, talk it, own it.
Own it.
Yes. Okay. Here's a doozy for you.
Okay.
If you were to come back as an animal,
Butterfly.
a butterfly.
I'm a butterfly. I am a butterfly at heart. Okay. I love butterflies. I love everything they represent. But one animal that I've been liking lately is like the Scarab beetle.
I've seen those.
They
fly
are everywhere. And they represent like rebirth and transformation. And
One flew on me yesterday as I was
Girl.
outside. It hovered and it wouldn't go away. Just went, "Whoop," and it was right on the arm.
girl,
Rebirth.
transformation, and as well as for butterflies, like if you think about the process of a butterfly, from the cocoon to the caterpillar to the butterfly, it's a whole process of this transformation and rebirth and the pruning that happens. I've been through so many things in my life to where I'm definitely a butterfly. In those moments where I need that inspiration and that spark and that push to just keep going, there's always a butterfly somewhere in my life. So if there was any animal, it would be a butterfly.
Devi the butterfly.
Devi the butterfly.
See it. You mentioned that you always felt like you were different in your community. What age do you feel like you first realized you were different and how?
From the age I can remember, memories for me are very scarce because I think there's still this form and this level of trauma that I haven't really dug deep yet to really dive into. But as far as I can remember, 6. I remember being late at night. My mom, she worked these horrific, like long hours. It would be me and my siblings at home by ourselves. And I was 6 years old and I was at home. I was outside waiting for my mom to get home because I was always the sibling to be, where's my mom? I was on my bike. I saw this figure and then I was so brave. It's just the fact that I was so brave because it just seemed like this man, it was a figure and he was carrying a woman. And I'm thinking like, is this man like kidnapping my mom? Yeah. So I'm on my bike. I'm riding my bike, following the man. The man could kill me. This could be a dangerous man. And so I'm following. If that's my mom, if that's a woman in general, I'm going. So I ride my bike and I cut the corner and everybody always talks about like this haunted house on the end of the street that we used to live on. And I didn't care. Right. So when I get around the corner, he's not there anymore. And I'm just like, that was just a moment where I realized I'm so brave. I'm so powerful, so capable. Nothing can stop me. That resilience and that perseverance in that moment, even like I just felt like, wow.
There was something driving you forward, even though you knew at the back of your mind, there's the potential for danger.
Mm-hmm.
However, I think one thing you talked about earlier is that you feel you have certain values core to you. In this
Reality.
case, your mom's life could be at stake. So the brave Debbie.
And at 6 years old to do something that brave, I'm like, what else can I do? From there, I just started becoming, I wouldn't say more rebellious, but definitely more adventurous and outgoing and being out late at night, riding my bike. I just went after this potentially dangerous man. I don't care who's out there. And so just carrying that with me. And I did get into a lot of trouble growing up with that spirit and having that resilience and that perseverance. But I'm not apologetic about it because I am where I am because of that energy and because of that spirit. And my mom isn't here with me today because she passed when I was 9, but I've always known that
you can carry things forward. And I mean, at 6 years old, that's a pretty core thing to hold on to push you through various phases to the point of the craft we'll talk about today. I'm curious how that's going to funnel into this.
Very, very curious.
Okay. Do you believe in aliens?
You know what? I believe I am one. If I do say so myself,
I'm honored.
Because an alien is just like an unknown, like it's unidentifiable. Like you don't really know what you're gonna get with the alien. It's something that it doesn't look like you. It's different. But I feel like I'm an alien. Some days I feel like I don't belong here. When are they gonna come and get me? Because it's hard out here to be a human, and when you have this just innate feeling that you're capable and destined for more and everyone else around you, which my circle is changing now and I'm around people like you. But for the longest, I would feel like that outcast and that alien and so just, I believe in aliens 100%, the real ones and whatever I am, because why not? I believe anything is possible. Like, I don't say that for any reason. And the sky is not the limit. Whatever is beyond the sky,
why not?
Why not?
I agree.
Aliens are real, people.
We could be some of those as well.
Right. Okay.
Trains or planes?
Planes.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs. I'm allergic to cats. I love cats, though. That's the thing. I love cats.
They're so fluid. They got their
You know,
very elegant way.
cats.
And cats, you just can't always have.
I can't. I just can't, but I love cats.
What did you do to play this week?
I ate chocolate.
You ate chocolate?
I cheered with a cup with Alissa and had some sparkling water, and I'm here in this creative space with you. So I feel like I'm playing right now. Like I'm out of that work mode right now, and I'm really passionate about being here. So I'm playing right now. I'm happy, I'm laughing, I'm dancing, I'm bubbly.
I see you dancing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Release that trauma in them hips. You know, trauma is stored in the hips. Gotta twerk.
The body and the mind connect.
Mhm.
Right? So if they're not functioning, one or the other's not functioning properly, you
Everything
can't get
is
to work.
thrown off.
You can't get to work,
Mhm.
right? Debbie, we got to know you a little bit
Yeah.
beneath the surface. And now I'm going to ask you the big question. What is your current craft in life?
My current craft in life is community building, connection building, expanding on my creativity and evolving, becoming the best version of myself, bringing other women and other people in general along with me on that journey, showing them that they are capable of doing, if not the same thing, being themselves authentically and unique to what their path and their mission is. So that is my craft. I believe that is my purpose and my mission in this life because I've never felt so sure about what I'm doing. And it's even with the money not coming in as I would dream it, I feel it, I see it, I can taste it, but I'm not so attached to that.
Right.
It's how I know that this is the thing. This is the craft.
So it's about bringing people together then, it sounds like.
To transform though.
Okay.
Because we're not just coming together just to be together. That's cool. You know, I love bringing people together. But the thing about bringing people together is so many people come with so many things that, Alissa, you may come with a heartache that day. Then if we all just sit in that heartache, then what are we really doing? You know?
Move beyond it.
Yeah, we got to move beyond that because do you want to stay in that heartache or you're maybe like sad because you don't want to feel this feeling. So how can we get out of that? So this is this transformational experience that I desire to bring people through because at my age of 22, I've been through so much. Here again, saying, how qualified are you? Well, I'm qualified because I've been through it. I wouldn't be showing you and giving you this and bringing people together if it wasn't something that resonated with me. So,
well, let's talk about that because to your point, what you're talking about can be a heavy thing. Not everyone's comfortable about sharing how they want to change or what change looks like or even want to change. Because I'll tell you this, transformation is painful. It can be very, very, very painful. It can get your emotions. Usually, you talk about transformation, it's not just change. It is a lot of things happening where it can be very overwhelming.
It's like, I like to look at it as like this growing pain, like you're growing through the pain. And so when you look at transformation in that moment, it may feel like, oh my gosh, it's so hard. All of these emotions, how am I going to get through this? But then you realize like when you actually get through it, that situation, whatever it was actually like pruning you and growing you to become something that you can give the world.
Yeah. I heard a metaphor recently that resonated with this concept of transformation and having gone through it.
Let me hear
It's
it.
you breaking out of a shell where you were kept in this little shell for so long. So it's like you're breaking out of the shell to really expand into your true self and what you're wanting to deliver at that point in time. Now, it may not be the same over time, right?
Right.
Transformation could happen maybe a couple times in your life.
Right.
I don't know.
Think of butterflies.
Yes. Debbie the butterflies.
Yes. Like butterfly from the moment they aren't born a butterfly. They start as a caterpillar. Then from there they're going into the cocoon and then they're in the dark. If you take them out too early, they may die or they may not, you never know. But it's just this process of going through that darkness and what you come out as is this beautiful and this vast, intriguing and colorful. It's just, you just don't come out the same. It's the beauty of it.
Let's backtrack then. At the start of the blueprint, there's always that main frame that you have to start with. Talk to me about your past, Debbie, and your main frame. What kind of story started this mindset of this is something that you want to incubate and curate beyond yourself?
That's a very good question. I would say it started when I realized that survival mentality was really good, but with balance. I was in a point of my life where I had just become a stay-at-home mom. I've been through so much, and we could go on about that, but where I am now, I was in a very good place in my life when my husband joined the military. I was still in that survival space, that survival mentality. I need money, I need stability. After we had already gotten that stability, we had gotten a house and there was no more penny pension. We didn't have to live in our car anymore. We were no longer homeless. And I just still found myself being in that survival state. And so I really had to really sit with myself. I had started a clothing brand. I had a whole plan. I had got a vendor and they were getting ready to send off the mock-ups and everything. It was in process, girl, but I realized like midway going through all of the disputes and it not being everything I wanted it, I kind of like sat and was like, not only is this not how I want the shirt to look, but this is not how I want the process to be either. So I really had to stop. I stopped it and I was just like, like, what are my passions? What are my skills? I had to hone in on my talents and my gifts and really go back and think about everything that I've been doing and what was it really trying to show me? What was it leading up to? And that was community. I grew up in a household where my mom and my aunt didn't get along, and then that relates to me and my cousin not getting along and me and my family never really having those family moments and family dinner time. My family from up north and everywhere only coming when someone died in the family. I was just like, I'm really passionate about bringing people together. I want people in my life that are happy to be around me. I want to have the family dinners and the brunches and laughs. It always came from people who weren't blood. It started there. And so I was like, I'm just going to do this. I'm so passionate about it and I'm just going to see where it takes me.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting how for so many people out there, the people that you may have the closest connections with may not be blood family.
Mm-hmm.
There may be periods in your life where you are very close. Mm-hmm. However, there may be get to a point where things fade away, things happen where you're no longer able to connect as much. We know different dynamics, to your point, may cause people to say, we're just not going to be as close anymore, but you still look for that connection moment. It sounds like you're trying to draw people in who are looking for this, not only looking for a place to belong, but a place to say, I want to build, I want to grow, I want to produce, and I want to be around other minds that may support me along the way. And maybe I can find some ways to support them as well.
And not only that, but just not having to choose either. Like not having to choose a community, like one community. I'm a safe space for everyone who wants to be a part of it, but you don't have to be strictly a part of this community. What I do, Vision and Voice, is not just for you to just come and be here and only here. No, this is for you to transform and take your talent, your gifts, your power, your authenticity everywhere. Diversify your portfolio. Be everywhere you're called to be. And I love that for people. And so that's where I am. And that's where I'm passionate about continuously growing and evolving with people who don't want to be put in categories or boxes.
Yeah. I mean, I absolutely love that concept. I'm really big on trying to diversify people I'm around, things that I do, keeping a core list. Maybe there's certain people or things that I do consistently, but give yourself some more expansiveness with different things. Transitioning from the past to where you are now in the process of this blueprint framework, what's happening now? Are there some challenges you're experiencing with this building process?
Of course. Again, we come back to this, like, this feeling of not only other people deeming you as unqualified, but sometimes you really get to feeling like yourself, am I qualified to do this? You get that, what do they call it? That imposter syndrome.
Yes.
Where it's like, you know you're growing, you know you're evolving, but you're so used to who you used to be or other people's perception of who you used to be that when you get to really doing the good thing or the thing that makes your heart smile, it's so overwhelming. Or what am I doing? And just how far you have to really stretch to keep going. You have to really expand your mind to continue going. A lot of people say your affirmations as long as you affirm, which that plays a part in it. But if you don't believe, if you don't really, really, really believe,
you need something to drive you forward. You need go
that.
back to Debbie's roots.
Sometimes you don't even need to think about it. It's like, think, but that first thought, go with it. Go with it. You have to have discernment. That's one thing that is very, very important to me, is that intention and that feeling I get when just before I'm about to do something, or the thoughts that I have. I always like to think, like, what's my vibe today? What's the energy like when I got up? Because that plays a part in what my thoughts are. I'm the type of person that believes your thoughts are not always your thoughts. You have the outside world. You have these perceptions of people. You have Instagram. You have doom scrolling. You have so many things that can filter and come into your life.
Yeah.
It's not always the best thing, you know?
I do understand that.
Mhm.
You got to be self-aware.
That's one of your core values.
Yeah. It is. That's
self-awareness.
And how hard is it, though, for people to want to sit back and really consider that?
It's hard because when you think you want to do something, you have that thought of why not? But if you hone in and you become in connection with that self-awareness, because there's a difference. The ego and the you that you are, you need the ego, but that awareness that you are, they go hand in hand. But sometimes that ego can be overpowering. It can really try to sift into your mind, alter your thoughts. And a lot of people say, no, just get rid of the ego. But no, don't do that, because you need that ego too. The ego is what has driven me to be like, no, I'm going to this room. I belong in this room.
Yeah.
But also that self-awareness to where, like, when you step in there, don't just walk in there and be like, I'm better than everybody else, you know, you need both. And so sometimes it's hard to really have that awareness, but it's very necessary.
Well, let me ask you this, because I can see the fine balancing act in being self-aware, balancing the fact that you need that ego to drive you forward and to give you the confidence to step in the room where the space is and provide your insights that could be very valuable. What is your process or methods that you like to use to help yourself to balance this? Do you journal? Do you have a accountability buddy? Do you read certain books at intervals to keep you on track? What does that look like for you?
Let me tell you, it looks like having that discernment to really figure out what I need in that moment. Sometimes it's grounding. Sometimes I need to just go outside and put my feet in the dirt and sit in the sun and really think through these things, or meditate. Meditation is not always just with your eyes closed for a long period of time. Sometimes it's just being aware that these thoughts are happening and let me just listen to them. I don't have to always listen to them and be them, but they're here for a reason. It's the grounding. I love taking spiritual baths. I love to run me some hot water, light my incense, light my white candle, and just clear the space and get some quiet time. I also love to co-regulate with friends. Like, girl, I need to talk to you right now. You don't even have to say much. Can you just sit beside me? We both look straight ahead and just let me get it out. You know, it's really honoring and listening to what your body needs in that moment. So
going back to our mind-body connection we talked about earlier, you got to pay attention to both.
Because sometimes I find myself like crazy. I'm always breathing, but sometimes I find myself not breathing, you know, like holding my gut, my stomach, tensing up. And then when I realize, like, hold on, why am I so tense? That's when there becomes this connection between the mind and the body. I'm anxious right now. I need to relax.
I've had people tell me, Alissa, you're not breathing right now.
Right.
Breathe. Do it.
No, seriously. Because the heart is going to beat, but you have to intentionally be breathing.
Pay attention to yourself. Be aware of your breathing. Ask someone else to help you out with this, right?
Literally.
So interesting. Now we're in the process of you curating this community, this sense of belonging, bringing others into the fold. What are you currently offering people right now in terms of anything that you're delivering? I believe you have a company now called Vision and Voice.
Yeah, so I offer support and guidance and empowerment and a space for women right now, but I love the men, I love the children. We are the building blocks. I like to say nothing moves unless we do. So just starting with myself, because I had to realize I'm a woman. We have a lot of outside forces and perspectives of what we can and what we can't do. And a lot of times that can stop us from doing what we're really passionate about. Like those visions, vision and voice, those visions that you just have that feeling like I can do this. I can see it. I can feel it. But you just don't have that support or you don't have that safety net to where, like, if I fall, who's going to catch me? How hard is it going to be? How bad is it going to hurt? How am I going to recover from this? So I really offer that place and that safe space to fail and to fall and to try again and to express and to be, because a lot of people like to make it seem like they have it all figured out. There's this phrase, an established entrepreneur, that I was talking to you about, and I'm all for that. But what about the women who has it all planned in that notebook, but just doesn't have that support? And it's $1 million company, maybe $1 billion company, but because of this perception, you're not established. You're just starting up. What can you give? That stops her in her tracks. And what I do is I tell her, no, you don't stop. You keep going and you walk through the doors that are accepting. You go where you're celebrated, not tolerated. I'm that place where we're going to celebrate you. We're going to get up as many times as possible. You're not going to stay down there. We're going to evolve and expand, and you're not going to do it alone.
Yeah. So then with that, you offer currently a series of events where you're shooting messages out. Hey, we're having a gathering. Come, enjoy, celebrate with some others that are trying to build in their lives right now. Is this something you're anticipating trying to do consistently over time? Is that your goal at this point?
I'm honestly, over the past week, I have been talking with a few women and actually have the blueprint of making it a nonprofit. So we'll see where that goes with that. But yeah, I'm looking for this to be a reoccurring thing. Of course, we have the free community events where women come out, we get together and we express, what are your visions? What are your dreams? What are your goals? How can we help each other get there? Because no one deserves to go through that alone. You can't go through it alone. I mean, you can try, but you're always going to need someone in the end to really help you and bring that through. And maybe you're strong enough to bring it together on your own, but it's always better together.
Have another mind in there really helps you to solidify certain things. One of the key things that you look at from that framework is if you have various mindsets to push you towards your
because if you don't, it's like that ego thing. Yeah, you're doing it, but do you feel like you need no one else? If you're a person who, like me, let's say host events, I cannot bring this event together all by myself. Even if I can coordinate and facilitate everything, who's going to come?
Right.
Who's going to come?
Yeah.
So like just putting my ego to the side and realizing, no, I need people. I value what other people can bring and how we can help each other in the process.
That's what the world should be about, the give and take. Yeah. So we've covered a bit of ground. We started off with just getting to know a little about Devi. We know that you love butterflies. You feel like you are a butterfly. You love the cats, can't always have them around, but you appreciate them.
Itching.
You're the go-getter, confident woman from the age of 6 where you're like, I'm going to go after danger because there's something driving me, some purpose behind driving me there. And then getting into what your actual craft is, which it sounds like it's about bringing people together, having a sense of belonging. And you're in the process of curating this through various events, some great networking to get to know these other women. I'm here as a support partner for you as well, giving that accountability. And if you want to really change, we're here in it together. Now, here's where we reiterate the blueprint. The beginning of the blueprint of this current craft was what? What's the beginning?
Icebreaker.
Breaking the ice.
Breaking the ice. Get out of that shell, like you were saying, like burst out of that shell and really leave it all out there because it's very important to not store all of that inside of you. And the world needs to know who you are. The world needs to know your craft. And so, Alissa, what you're doing here is really amazing. And I know that so many people need this, because even just expressing and speaking this right now is giving me so much clarity to who I am and what I've come through and how I can expand in my craft and what I'm doing. Because sometimes I don't even know, you know?
It's like how often you have to go back and say, wait, I'm trudging along for so long. I thought I
Yeah.
knew it, but do I really right now?
Right. Right. It's like in 3 words, that's all I can give. Like in 3 words, what do I do? And even then, it's just like, wow, let me go back to the drawing board. And it's just reiterating that purpose and that passion all over again, getting that spark and that inspiration and that motivation to remember what you're doing it for in the first place is always important.
Right. Perfect. That was the starting point. The middle ground, where you're at now, what is that?
I am present, expanding and evolving and curating and creating and building and connecting and all the things. It's all meshing all together. Sometimes I don't know what I'm doing, but I know from the impact that I'm having that it's working. So why would I stop?
Yeah. I mean, I'm one of them. I'm working with you right now. I'm excited to see how we can continue to evolve that, for example. Yeah. Tool or resource that you might recommend to those out there that are aligned with your current craft in life?
Read your books, okay? Read your books, go on to YouTube. For the longest, I used to think, oh, I have to take this course, I have to pay this amount of money, but YouTube is free, you guys. And if nothing else, like get out there, get in the faces of the people that you want to be around, like go network. I don't like to use that word, but hey, it is what it is. Go
Rub shoulders.
Go rub shoulders, go laugh. Like networking is not just this exchanging of business cards. At least with me, not at least. It's actually like a courting process. Let's get to know each other. And then from there, let's collaborate and let's build and let's expand. You know, we're not stopping at what I can do for you and what you can do for me. Is what can we do together?
Yeah.
So read your books, watch your YouTube, go rub shoulders, and use your resources. You know, I'm not the only resource. Alissa is not. There's so many out there, but don't feel like you have nothing, okay? You always have something to give. You always have something to bring, and there's always that information and that knowledge out there if you really look for it. Seek and you will find.
Seek and you will find. We have your words of wisdom,
Yes.
as we said.
Ask and you will receive.
That's it. Okay, tools and resources are now in our print. Then what is the vision forward?
The vision forward is to continue expanding on the vision. It's always going to grow. It's always going to change. It's always going to evolve. But keeping that morality and that love and that intention at the center of everything that I'm doing and seeing where that takes me.
Fantastic. Wow. So Debbie, here you're about the idea of connection and you're building these tools and services along the way, and we'll see how it evolves over time. Now, if people wanted to connect with you after the fact and get to know more about Debbie and perhaps participate in some of your things that you would offer, how can they find you?
So you can find me on Facebook at Devi TheEvolutionary. Yes, Devi TheEvolutionary. On Instagram at Devion Elizabeth, DeovionElisabeth. And yeah, you can come rub shoulders. You might see me around California because I do be everywhere. I look forward to hearing from all of your guests and your watchers, and I hope this inspires them to do the thing.
Well, Debbie, this was a fun conversation. I really love delving into who you are beneath the surface, what drives you, what energizes you, and where your passions are. And honestly, how we can think about getting more involved and just saying it doesn't matter where you are in terms of your age or level of experience, you start somewhere and you can make progress. To one of the stories you made earlier, you thought you were going to do something with a clothing brand and you looked at it and you're like, this is really not fitting right now. I need to backtrack. I mean, building is not a one and done smooth journey. And I think one of the things that often, to your point, people miss out on is giving people a chance, understanding what drives them and how they could contribute, and really trying to understand that. How do we work together to get there? How can we make something great? So Debbie, thank you for blueprinting with us today.
Of course.
First guest.
Thank you for having me.
What a powerful reminder from Devi today that your wisdom isn't defined by your age or your corporate title. It's defined by your willingness to show up authentically. As you step away from this episode and back into your week, ask yourself one playful question. What is one room you've been hesitating to enter, where you need to remind yourself that you belong simply because you showed up? If you love deep conversations that build human potential with real-world execution, make sure to hit subscribe. Share this episode with a fellow builder or visionary in your circle, and let's keep frameworking what we deliver to the world.